cats or dogs? A question that has plagued many a man for centuries. A question that really tells who you are as a person. However, answering this question can lead to terrible conclusions. You can either bring a cat home and watch as it controls and messes with your mind, or go to a dog park and get hunted down by Clifford the Big Red Dog. This brings us to the game today that I selected off of itch.io. Do not take this cat home, made by Pixeliminel. This game is a fun visual novel that is all about a silly little cat with insane demon powers that will maul you, eat you, turn you into a fish, and warp the world around you. The goal of this game is to not bring this unlucky black cat you found in an alleyway home, or else you get nanade on. This black cat, however, is the main star of our video today, because I want to diagnose what type of mythical monster this cat could be of all the possible mythos and beliefs there are out there. But before we get too deep into it, I must tell you that some of this game will get spoiled if you watch this video. So make sure you purchase this game for $0 and 0 cents. If you want my quick take on this game itself before we dive into silly spirit antics, I had a great time playing this game, and this is a great visual novel. The over 40 endings there are was a bit overwhelming at first, but it just led me to enjoying the amount of content this visual novel had in the long run. I really recommend you try it if you like spooky and surprisingly bloody visual novels. Remember, this game is free. Also, if you enjoy me yapping for these 15 or so minutes, make sure to leave me a sub to get more content like this in the future. Now that the obvious is out the way, when looking at this cat and trying to determine what on earth this thing could be, we first have to understand what powers it has and the things it is able to do. So from the friggin' 40 deaths and endings, we can gather a whole large shopping list worth of information. This cat has a taste for blood, has an ability of hypnotism, shape-shifting powers, can make you become a fish and throw up fish, is telepathic, and is like Freddy Kruggy with the way he can just snap you to a dreamscape and torture you. When thinking of just basic monsters off the top of the head with zero research, something like a skinwalker can come to mind. If you are unfamiliar, skinwalkers are creatures that originated within old Navajo culture. They tend to appear as normal animals from the woods like coyotes. However, when you get close to them, they will stand up straight like a normal human being and thug hunt you, to put it lightly. However, in all of my research of different stories of skinwalkers don't have many other abilities than just pure deception. All they tend to do is disguise themselves as standard animals to lure unsuspecting hunters in to eat them. So it doesn't fit the whole glockenspiel of this insane cat. So we have to actually open up Google and look into other abilities this cat has, such as its telepathy and hypnotism. Whenever you start looking into some of the endings you get and what this cat does with its seeming power of telepathy, you get a big understanding that this cat is just outright very manipulative, drawing you in with some small talk and then messing with your mind before breaking you apart swiftly. Just like marriage. Am I right, men? Yeah. On the topic of women though, we can bring up the idea of banshees. The folklore of banshees comes straight up north from Ireland and is a literal Dark Age version of preying on your downfall. Banshees are elderly women that forebode the death of you or someone close to you, usually through screams or caning, i.e. opera songs with a dash of extra screamo rock tossed in there to let you know that your end is near. You may wonder how these grandmas and this mythical cat relate to one another, and the answer is that banshees can appear as a variety of animals. This confirmation of it looking like a cat gets the first check of the cat list out of the way. The next thing is the various deaths you get in the game. A lot of them are foreshadowed by the cat itself. One main showing of this is when you don't take the cat home and go to the dog park. Something, probably the cat, enters your mind and messes with you the entire time you're there, letting you know that if you continue to interact with the dogs, you will soon meet your maker. If you don't listen to this, you soon actually do find out whether or not there's a heaven or hell the hard way, by getting ripped to shreds by a giant dog. There are also a lot of endings where you don't even seem to get killed by the cat, like when you just get hit by a semi-truck or crushed by trash in your own home. The cat seems like the harbinger of death and not the actual murderer. The max this cat does is occasionally lead you more towards a dreadful fate, like distracting you so you get hit by a truck, but it doesn't tend to do more outside of that. Clip it and ship it, guys. Wrap everything up. We're done here. This cat isn't a major demon killing you. It is just a
Objection. This is not a banshee in the form of a cat.
Wait, why is that? And how did you get into my house?
Let me tell you the fact. Bubbles had. In the several endings of this game, there are multiple occurrences where the cat isn't a hungry demon and more of a scary figure that is preying on your downfall. But sometimes, on the other side, there are way more occurrences of the cat being an actual demon that wants your bubbles. Like the all-you-can-eat blood fae ending, where the cat gets too much of a taste for blood and becomes the bubbling witness. murking everyone on site except for you.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Thank you, Iris Time, for bursting my bubble. Let us just look more towards the hypnotism scale of monsters. When you do, you'll start to find things like the Furigan dragons, Satori, and the Noken? Naked? I don't know how you pronounce that thing. The thing is though, none of these have the more physical description of this cat, or have some shape-shifting ability to make it being a cat more plausible. So we have to look more at yokais. No, not the show Yokai Watch. Japanese yokai, or supernatural spirits. Looking through Japanese yokai, you'll find an entire FNAF timeline's worth of cat spirits, labeled as Kaibo. Within this group of Kaibo, you'll find two types of cat spirits, Bakeneko and the Nekomata. If you look into Nekomata for just the first Google page, you'll quickly find out that this isn't a sweet little fella, due to Nekomata being infamous for having two tails, and they aren't produced without the sign of deep growth. When you start looking into the Bakeneko, however, the pieces of the puzzle start to fit together more and more the deeper you look into it. First off, these spirits are a quote, cat-like yokai that are very brutal in their nature. They appear as an innocent, gentle creature, but can shapeshift, possess people, eat people, and even use wolves or dogs to attack travelers. Some characteristics of the spirit are pupils that dilate at various times in the day, licking blood, and are difficult to control. Any of these sound familiar to you? If you played the game, they should, because this is everything that the cat within the game does. The cat licks blood. Check. The cat's pupils change a lot. Check. The cat possesses people and has used dogs to its own advantage. Check. This cat is literally a strong Bakeneko. It can even grow stronger and evolve possibly into a Nekomata as well if you give it enough yummy blood. This feels like it is it, but there's one humongous elephant in the room. That elephant is the feeling of memory you have between every death. For instance, in some options, if you go back to the choice after experiencing a certain ending, your protagonist will remember it and warn himself for pursuing it, such as in the fish ending, when you think for 1 second of giving a cat a chocolate bar and end up feeling so bad about it, you just submit to becoming a fish vessel for the cat to not be hungry ever again. Then, whenever you go back to try to feed the cat again or stumble upon the chocolate bar in your pockets, your character gets intense thoughts about this path that you have gone down. You may wonder, just a memory? Okay, that doesn't change much. It is still a Bakeneko, isn't it? But you are wrong. You are the definition of the nerd emoji, while I am the Giga Chad here, my child. Some memory of every ending and fate you have gone through doesn't make this game one linear storyline with many different endings for the player. It makes it so that this is a story with many different endings for our character too, which can entirely change our perception of the game and what this creature can be. When you start to get rid of the idea of just different stories for us and think more of the idea of different stories for the protagonist, the Bakeneko theory does start to fall apart. This is because the Bakeneko isn't a supernatural spirit on the level of Cthulhu or a literal god like Zeus. It is the most cracked out Fortnite of the basic tier of earthly monsters, since it can shapeshift and possess people and reanimate corpses, but doing something like entirely changing the world around you multiple times over, re-atomizing you after de-atomizing you just to torture you again, that is way over the level of what a Bakeneko can do, to put it simply. All this time and dedication, just for a busted theory? Is nothing really true, and is it all just something a developer made up off rip? No, we mustn't give up. Do not give up. This is just the beginning of the truth. Let's take it from the top again and look away from the cat for a moment. Let's take a moment to think about a smooth-brained protagonist. Like, why does your character seem to remember every single time you've died? And now that I think of it, why does everything seem to suddenly loop after your first encounter with your cat? Are you in a dream? Wait a minute. Everything seeming so magical and demonic? Things around you suddenly warping and screaming? Everything feeling so normal until things suddenly take a humongous turn? By God, this is a dream. When you start thinking of this more as a dream/nightmare instead of a more real scenario, the links do start to connect. If you think that this is starting to become more of a cheap coma theory, a cheap idea this is not, because within dreams, there can be and are dream demons with dream abilities, and this cat can be one of them. Let's look into the Batibot for existence. For a quick debriefing to prove that dream demons could be legitness, the Batibot is an obese, angry gamer that is said to literally sit on your face when you go to sleep on his tree, intruding your dreamscape, giving you nightmares, and suffocating you to death under his cheeks. Even though that may be some people's dreams, the main true nightmare here is the cat within the game. When looking deeper into other nightmare-based creatures, the mayor will quickly pull up to the function as a possible stand-in for this cat demon. The mayor is a creature similar to the Batibot in giving people nightmares. However, it isn't a fat Discord mod this time, and is instead a hot woman that sadly doesn't sit on your face. Mares are creatures, some say witches, that come into your bedroom at night when you are asleep and then give you intense nightmares by running on your chest. The belief of mares come from different regions, so there are many different minor, small beliefs in what they truly can do, but they all circle around the night mare. The beliefs of these silly little fellas date all the way back to the 13th century, if you like Scandinavians. Later than that if you don't like them. These mares are often portrayed as or transformed into different creatures, such as a bird or a cat or a frog. The main thing is with these creatures though, is that whatever they do in your dreams will happen to you in real life. Primarily, they gang no style on you in your dreams, and you die in real life. They also can trap you and murk you with ease in your dreams because they can manipulate the world in your mind to their pleas. So this being more of a nightmare makes the repeated and known death loop that goes on in the game more plausible. This is because the repeated death is just a mare torturing you and slowly draining your life away from you for its own gain. The various deaths in this game are also explainable, not just as one creature able to do all these things, but just one creature messing with your mind in such a more terrible manner than our silly protagonist could comprehend. It also explains the various situations where the world around you can snap into a different plane of existence as a literal dream tomfoolery instead of some possible creature hallucinogens. If you still don't think it is a mare, let's go over the true ending of the game. An ending that may confuse some, but I think I've broken it down into its bits and parts to figure out what this ending could mean in the grand scheme of things, along with how it proves that it is a mare doing all of this. Ending NA, Another Day, is the final ending you can unlock in this game. This ending sees you going to every location that you go to if you proceed to not take this cat home, going over to the carnival, watching movies at the theater, and even going to the dog park. Then as you start to head home to your crummy apartment, you start thinking of how relieved you feel and how you haven't had anything terrible happen in forever. You then enter your apartment to a cute meow and find a suspiciously similar cat. Thankfully, the friendly cat has become your cute pet after finding it in an alleyway a while ago. This ending can be a little confusing, due to it being the only uppity and legitimately happy ending within this entire game. This ending feels more real to a person's emotions and day-to-day life, instead of an insane nightmare land that we have to deal with the past couple of endings. This could be because it is a true memory of your last happy occurrence within the past couple days, a sweet memory that has been twisted by a devilish mare. Think of it. This ending contains every single piece of every other ending combined together into one. Like the doll from the Living Doll and Cottonwool ending that you win at the carnival, the dog you meet at the dog park during the various dog endings, and both of the cinemas are there and those various weird hypnosis endings. You may think that it is one mega ending with everything in it wrapping it up happily as our character escapes his never-ending torment with his cat, but I believe it is much more than that. This ending is the predecessor to everything, and is before the moment you get haunted by the mare. The mare is just using some of your happiest memories to turn them into pure darkness to suck more of that soul out from you. To summarize everything of what a mare is and what we've covered so far, it is literally just Mimir, the horror creature, and can do whatever it wants to you while you take a nap. Now that we've finally figured out what the creature is, how are you even supposed to beat this thing? Was the main character onto anything with his various attempts to get away from the cat? Is he stuck there for all eternity? Let me give you a quick rundown on what the main character could have done to protect himself from the power of the mare, and also help you guys out if you're having the same problem. Looking over the endings, the protagonist doesn't seem to be onto much. Like he tries and succeeds in killing the cat, but because some man woke up one morning and put a spell on cats giving them 9 lives, he just comes back and kills you. Entirely rigged. Then whenever you try to run away from the cat in various different endings, he just finds a way to toy with you and kill you or trap you in a void forever. The one thing our MC here does seem to be onto, though after a while, is just breaking out of the mainframe with a little of our spelling assistance. The reason why he is onto something with this is the possibility of waking yourself up from the nightmare. If you manage to find a way to wake yourself up from the dreamscape, you could possibly just rise up from your sleep and sock the mare in the face. However, the odds of being able to do this are very much not in your favor, so the only thing you can really do is prevent it from happening in the first place. To do this, you can either invite the mare to breakfast, smear poo on your front door, put a mirror in your room, or just turn 90 degrees in a different direction when you sleep.
But hey, that's just
Video of a random dude on the internet making random points. This game has way more layers and personal meaning to it than just Monster Go Burr, and I do really recommend you try it out. Go out there and play the game too, and while you're at it, go out there and go brainstorm and go make your own videos or tweets or Reddit posts about this game, even though my audience is equivalent to the amount of people in a McDonald's on a Wednesday at 10 a.m. Why did I make an entire analysis video on one cat when I could have just asked the developer what this cat was meant to be? I have no clue. I just woke up and felt like researching mythology and spirits and skibidi toilet lore for fun. If you enjoyed this random video, make sure to do me a favor and subscribe to get more content like this in the future. And if you don't subscribe, I'm going to be in those cheeks tonight. As always, thank you for watching, keep your head up, and have a good day.